I absolutely love all of the eating the rich TikToks happening right now, but I'm seeing a lot of middle class things being listed, so I have a question. What's the most insane actual rich person behavior that you've experienced? Because mine is when I heard the mom of this family say, "Oh, I absolutely hate vomit. When my kids threw up on their bed or on their mattress, I just threw out the mattress and bought a whole new one." What?
Okay, so I have a good one for this. When I was working as a cosmetologist, I was pregnant with my first child at the time. My ex-husband and we did not make very much money that year. It was maybe like 19 grand between the two of us. And this man who was a client of mine, he found out about where I was at financially and decided to tip me between like $200 and $400 every time he'd get a service. And then on my baby shower, he sent one of my coworkers to the store to buy every single one of the items on my registry list that hadn't been purchased for me yet. That man is the nicest man I've met in my entire life.
One of my clients, I used to work at a bank. When I was going through my divorce, I was going through all this. I was depressed. They could feel there was something going on. So my client had many accounts. She had many accounts at the bank, and she said, "What's going on?" And I said, "Oh, no, I'm going through stuff. I'm going through a divorce, this and that." She said, "Oh, let's go out and eat, and we'll talk about it." We went out to eat, and she said, "How much?" I was like, "How much what?" She said, "How much do you owe?" At that point, I owe a little bit over $12,000 in cars, bills, credit cards that he left me. And I had two kids. And I needed to find a place. She said, "You want a cash or check?" She barely knew me. She was just a client. She just wanted me to be okay. Which I ended up getting as a loan and paid it in 2 years.
I don't know if people around the world actually know how much money there is in the world, because I've seen a lot of these things and it seems quite mediocre what people have experienced. I used to trade gold internationally, and we used to sell to investment firms, venture capitalists, just absolute royalty, like Saudi royalty. And I'll tell you right now, I've dealt with a person that lived in the Philippines that has more money in one of his bank accounts than Jeff Bezos has. And people don't understand this. There's public wealth, and then there's wealth that you'll never see or never hear of. That's the kind of shit that you need to worry about. The kind of wealth where they gift you 2 Rolls Royces for doing a deal with them.
Okay, so no shit, this is without a word of a lie. I was at the supermarket the other day doing my groceries, and I saw this lady. She grabs her Arnott's biscuits, puts them in her trolley, and then walks off. She just walked off. She's like, I'm balling. I don't need to worry about no $3.45. And so I thought, no, I've got to justify this. Maybe she's a human calculator. She doesn't need a calculator. She just knows. She knows how to add all those extra little cents. And I'm like, no, bro, she can't be. It's too difficult. It's too difficult. She doesn't need to worry about her $3.45.
So I don't mean to flex, but I have an air fryer, a Vitamix, and an espresso maker. What?
Throughout university, I've worked as a server at an upscale casual restaurant. Last summer, I ended up serving this table who was clearly very, very wealthy for almost 5 hours. Over the course of their stay, between about 3 or 4 people, they had 19 shots of Don Julio 1942, which is $25 a shot at my restaurant. Don't at me for over-serving, they were totally fine and did have a designated driver and were mostly sober when they paid. Between the alcohol and their other food items, their bill ended up being over $800. When I went to go take payment, the guy who was paying said, "How much do you want as a tip?" To which I responded, "Oh, that's totally not up to me to decide. I'm happy with anything." And he goes, "Double the check." I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, double the check." And I go, "Okay, haha, very funny." So I give him the debit terminal without a tip on it. He pays, I leave, thank them profusely. I never check a bill before I leave a table, but when I went to the back to look at the bill, they had tipped me $800 on an $800 bill.
An infertile
A-list celebrity found me on a modeling website. Apparently I look identical to her, so she reached out to a fertility clinic and had them reach out to me and offered me $50,000 for my eggs. So I get an email one day because on my Instagram back in the day, I had my contact email. It was from a fertility clinic. I obviously looked up the clinic. It was real, it existed. And the woman sounded very professional. She said, hey, I know this sounds really out of left field, but would you mind letting us tell you a bit about the process just to see if you would, just be interested in hearing more information? So I'm a never say never kind of person. So I heard him out. Again, those darn NDAs, they could not tell me what A-list celebrity it was, but part two of the celebrity wanting my eggs. So I'm speaking with this fertility clinic representative, and she's telling me a bit about their client, the celebrity, and how she's infertile. It's her lifelong dream to be a mother. I would really make her dreams come true, and it just really felt like, I would be helping her. Not to mention it was $50,000. So things escalate rather quickly, and next thing I know, I am getting tested in every way imaginable. I took so many tests, like mental health tests, like interview, more tests. And I'm passing them left and right. But I cannot begin to explain to you how many tests there were. There was a year of testing for this, a year that I unknowingly signed up for. Like, they're like, let's get started. And I was like, okay. I didn't know it was going to be a year. Part 3, a celebrity wants my eggs. So during this year of testing, they actually had to fly me out to their clinic, which is in Beverly Hills. And this is where it gets juicy. I sit down with the actual doctor, Dr. Wong. He has some starbursts on his desk, and he uses these starbursts to explain the way fertility works, how the egg retrieval process happens, just to educate his clients, right? Very nice guy. They took so much blood from me. They took all my blood. Everything went well. I came home. But then I'm watching the Kardashians, and there's Dr. Wong. He's got his little starburst out explaining to Kim Kardashian about her infertility. This is some A-list shit. It was definitely not Kim K. She looks nothing like me, but I'm just saying in regarding of who the celebrity possibly was. A celeb wants my eggs, part 4. So like I said, it was taking over a year, and I was really getting fed up with having to respond to all these emails and take all these tests and just spend like an astronomical amount of my time, and I hadn't even made $1 yet. So I just started doing my research and wondering why it was taking so long, right? So through my research, I started finding all these support groups of women getting cervical cancer from donating their eggs, and I just started really second guessing like if I really wanted to go through with it. Not to mention the fact that I would literally have a kid out there. So I just thought, you know what, this is taking way too long. Had they have just done it immediately and not given me time to research, which I probably would have gone through with it. But at this point, I was just like really frustrated. Like a year of my time, not even $1. All these tests. I got free medical testing out of it, but I did not go through with it, which I'm very happy about. So that's it.
Okay, I know that people are looking for like oil baron, like insane rich stories, and I do live in Hollywood, so I have experienced some of those, but truthfully, this is the thing that always blows my mind when I think back. So I grew up pretty poor, so I guess maybe I'm more sensitive to this than other people, but I was dating somebody, and when I went to visit his family with him for the first time, they threw food out as soon as you were done eating. Like, if we were eating pizza and there was a half a pizza left and we were finished, they threw it immediately in the trash. They didn't allow leftovers in the house. I mean, we could be eating steaks. There could be an entire, like, huge, beautiful steak goes in the trash. And I'm sorry, I don't care how rich you are. I don't care all of your bullshit cars, houses. That, to me, is the most insane rich person behavior I have ever heard.